to come out. Now, I hope it personally works out for him because he's a talented guy, but it has been a textbook way to handle something like this, WWE, and the way they've just addressed it and the way they haven't gotten over the top with it. Kudos to them. Back to the NFL, a positive story is Tom Brady. I don't like the Patriots, and I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I hate seeing people get injured. And last week, he had a scare when he was clutching his knee in practice, and he even had to wear a brace for a couple days. But he's moving fine, and it looks like he's 100%. Might be a little stiffness, but there is no structural damage. So good for Tom Brady and the Patriots, and hopefully he can have a productive year. Speaking on the injury front, Kobe Bryant, 4 months after tearing his Achilles tendon, is already running. He's running on a specially made anti-gravity treadmill. Now, what this means, if you go online, you can find a picture of this thing. There's basically this giant inflatable support that goes around the runner. And what it does is it relieves a lot of the weight that a person's body puts on that ankle. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. This anti-gravity treadmill will support 50 to 100 pounds of your weight so that you're only running at half weight. Typically, this type of injury takes 6 to 9 months to heal, and Kobe Bryant's already running at 4 months. So good for him. He's still a long shot to be ready for the opening game of the season, but power to a guy who's putting in that much work and is already running on what was potentially a career-ending injury. Moving to the NHL, it's the off-season, and there's not a lot of news in the NHL. People don't get as big on the NHL draft and free agency as we do as the other sports in America. However, the Columbus Blue Jackets, based out of Columbus, Ohio, have a cool tradition that's entering its 4th year, and it's called Cannon Fest. And it was started out as a couple of Blue Jacket bloggers who were just avid fans getting together for a backyard barbecue. But the idea became so popular that it has become an integral event in that community, now featuring hundreds of people. And like I said, in this 5th year, it is completely fan-supported, fan-run. It raises money for a lot of worthy charities, and it's, like I said, it's a huge community event. What's cool about it this year is now some of the staff and other individuals from the team, the Blue Jackets, have gotten involved. This year, Blue Jacket GM Jarmo Kekalanian showed up randomly. It wasn't planned. He wasn't invited. He just showed up, and he spent over an hour glad-handing, taking pictures, and he even did a presentation, a tribute to George Matthews, the voice of the Blue Jackets, their broadcaster who's been with them for countless years. And I've talked many times about entertainment and sports and entertainment and connecting with fans. And this is a perfect example. A GM who heard about a bunch of fans putting together a community event and on his own initiative, stopping by and participating, signing stuff for their charity auctions, taking pictures with all the fans, and putting on his own presentation in honor of the team that they're all there to celebrate. Very cool story. There's a video online. I highly recommend looking it up. It kind of rejuvenates your view on sports. And finally, as I was been saying all day long, a lot of great stories in baseball, and here is probably the best one. Ichiro Suzuki, maybe one of the classiest individuals in Major League Baseball, has 3,999 career hits as of right now. He needs one more to reach 4,000. Now, this hit total combines his years in Japan, where he had almost 2,000 hits, and then his career here. So it is combined, but there are only 2 players in history who had 4,000 hits in the majors. That's Pete Rose and Ty Cobb. There are only 5 players in history that have a combined 4,000 hits in minor and major leagues. And the other 3 would be Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, and a guy named Jigger Stats. He had 3,356 hits in the Pacific Coast League years ago. So we're talking about 3 Hall of Famers, the all-time hits leader who should be in the Hall of Fame, and quite frankly, if any of you out there think that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, you're wrong.
You should never be allowed to talk to people.
So, yeah. So 4 Hall of Famers, and then a career minor leaguer who just continued to get hits. But here are some really fantastic stats about Ichiro. In his first 10 years in the major leagues, 200-plus hits each of his first 10 years. Amazing in modern-day baseball. He broke the single-season hit record in 2004 with 262 hits. When he became a rookie in Major League Baseball in 2001, he won the Rookie of the Year and the MVP. And if he retired right now, he would have a combined career average with the Japanese team, the Orix Blue Waves, and Major League Baseball, a career average of 330. He's got a career Major League average of 320 and a career average with the Blue Waves of 353. And despite all those accomplishments, this has been one of the classiest players, often doing interviews well past the allotted time, being both the face of the franchise of the Mariners for years, but also the face of Japanese baseball, the one who really opened the gates for other Japanese players to come over to the U.S. In addition to that, he's just got so many interesting stories about him. First of all, his obsession with his baseball bats. He doesn't allow anybody else to handle his bats, including the bat boys. He has a specially made humidor specifically for his baseball bats that has a climate control to prevent any moisture from being added or leaving the wood in the bats. He one time got frustrated after being struck out and threw his bat on the ground, and he took it to his hotel room as sort of a place of honor for the baseball bat as a form of apology. Another weird thing he does, he's gone through more shoes than the entire Olympic track team. Here's a guy who's obsessed with keeping his feet and legs in top pinnacle condition. So virtually every baseball series, meaning every 3 to 4 games he plays, he gets a brand new pair of shoes. They never get overly worn in, and the soles never get worn out. He is always rotating and getting new shoes. Very fascinating guy, very class act, and it's the kind of story that should be covered more. He's about to enter a very elite fraternity of players. And there's a lot of naysayers out there, but the fact is, the way he plays the game has been revolutionary. He's shown that you don't have to be jacked up on steroids to be an elite level in this game. He's a multi-time Gold Glove winner. He has led the league in hits more than several times. He's the all-time single-season hits leader. He's got a tremendous amount of stolen bases, doubles, triples. He even one year at the All-Star Game won MVP honors for hitting an inside-the-park home run. He's a guy who has done everything in this league, and his career should be and will be celebrated. And in 5 years from whenever he decides to retire, he will rightfully be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And on that happy note, I'm going to leave you. And until next week, tune in every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for the CSBS Sports Edition. If you have any comments or questions, or just want to give me your opinion on anything in the world of sports, feel free to contact me at any time. You can contact me on Twitter at the CSBS. You can email me at cmstanton2@gmail.com, or leave a comment on my Facebook page, the CSBS. Tune in next week where we will be adding an additional segment covering the fantasy football and the season ahead. Have a good day and a great weekend.